Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. I think you're going to like my subject today. It's about manifesting, using the law of attraction. Hey guys, can we get off the manifesting versus law of attraction? I don't like to use law of attraction because I think it puts it in your head that you have to attract something separate from you. So I always say manifesting. I use just different words. If you want to use law of attraction and it works for you, please do it. But you do not have to attract anything. You will just shift into a different reality that exists. That's all. You raise your frequency and you get on that elevator that takes you up and you get off on that floor where that probability lies. There's no attracting something up there down to you if you're down on the first floor and you want to be on a fifth floor resonation, let's say, frequency, right? The love of your life, who's perfect for you, who treats you with respect, is on the 10th floor. And if you're acting like a second floor person, you can't attract anything. You have to raise your frequency to get to them. Does this make sense? This is why I don't like the term law of attraction, because I think people think they can stay exactly in their same frame of mind and frequency and sit here and meditate and ask it for it and it's going to come to me. It doesn't work that way. Unless you think it does, you don't have to agree with me. All right, coffee time, and then we're going to go on to something I think you're going to love. All right, what about manifesting things that don't work out? Like, how did that not work out? All right, let's take a job. I hear this a lot. There's that perfect job. It has to be that job. All right, so herein lies the, decision that you should consider making, and that is, do you want to box yourself in or do you want what's best for you? We don't always know what's best for us because we can't possibly predict what's going to happen in that job or in that relationship or with all that money. So what I like to do, because people are like, but you're never really specific. You have to be specific enough if it's something you absolutely desire. For me, I have to have a home with big, bright windows. I cannot be in dark rooms with, no windows. I love seeing outside. I love high ceilings, big windows, and it always shows up every single time. Now, then there are other things I'm flexible on, and I leave it open, but I have certain parameters. So what you do is you just know what you exactly want. So if you say you want a perfect job, then you decide, what about that job do you desire? A boss who respects you, pay for what you do that's, sufficient. You're not being underpaid and working more, opportunities to go up the ladder, whatever it is you want. But if you say it has to be the job with ABC company, you're going to box yourself in because that ideal job may be with a new company that comes into town you don't even know about yet. So this is why manifesting should be flexible if you want to do the best and highest. So a lot of people, what about relationship? It has to be that person. That person it's not even in love with you. So that's the ego trying to get what it wants, and it's just not going to work. It can't. It can't possibly work because you are desiring to infringe on somebody's free will, and your ego is so out of control that you can't even imagine falling in love with somebody else who's going to blow that relationship away. Why? Because you're going to have somebody who actually cares about you. So you got to ask yourself why you would want that relationship. Maybe you need to work on how much you love yourself and why you need that person to make you happy. And so these are things we must get in check to raise that frequency to go into the ideal job, the ideal relationship. Work on this, not I want and need that to make me happy. So when you're manifesting the things that you desire, you focus on things you desire, make sure that you are on a high frequency and that you are not so attached to it. Because if you're attached, then that is the message to you that you are looking to the outside world to make you happy, and that's the total opposite of what's going to come to you. It won't be the best and highest because you're not on that frequency. All right, so I'm going to give you an example. All right, so last year, you're going to love this. So last year, I gave an example to you that you don't have to know how it comes to you. And that I said, what if you wanted to go on a first-class trip and you couldn't afford it, or there was some circumstances, and so you're trying to figure out how you can afford it, how you're going to do it, or whatever. What if you just said, this is the trip, ideal trip, and I said, then somebody calls you Somebody calls you and says, hey, I've got this trip, I want somebody to go with me. And then, well, 2 days later, my friend calls me and says she and her boyfriend broke up, and she had this amazing trip for me to go on, and she said, you just have to show up. It's paid for. Well, I couldn't go because something else was going on at the same time. So here we go. I manifested, I said something, it wasn't even for myself, I was giving an example, but I manifested it because I was talking about it. But that opportunity didn't match with where I was at the time, it went away. Guess what? I just came back from that exact cruise, actually it was even better, with a first class, the balcony, everything, an amazing trip with amazing people that she invited me on, and it was all paid for, okay? It came back around at the right time. Now, I was going to actually move to Italy for 3 months, not move, but I was going to go to Italy for 3 months while I was moving into my new house. That didn't work out okay. Way too much going on and releasing my e-course, Breakthrough Fear. So the timing wasn't right, but Italy's not going anywhere. So then I said, I really want to go to Italy, and I just want to not have a real lockdown schedule. I just want to sort of go places and be on the, the water and go to all the places I haven't been in Italy yet. Well, my friends who live over in Europe called and said, come on, we have this place right on the beach. You can just come stay with us. And guess what? I was going on the cruise that week, so I couldn't go. Guess what happened? So I let it go. It was no big disappointment. Again, I know that things will show up, and that's being at ease with whatever happens, not saying, this isn't working, I'm not manifesting this right. Then you go, that's disbelief and lack of faith. And then the attachment to the outcome. You're attached to the outcome, which means you absolutely are not opening, you have blocks and rules and all these things that only the ego does. So a friend of mine called me recently and said that she had a first-class trip to Italy and she invited me to go with her. And the first-class paid-for trip, and I'm talking first class, guess what? It blew away the other 2 plans that I had. And I said yes. And so I'm going there for an extended period of time with an amazing person, going to amazing places. In fact, all the places that I wanted to go to on a very flexible schedule. It came back around. We are booked. So I want you to know this is how it works. And this is the letting go and knowing that just because it shows up and it wasn't the right time for you or the right company or the right relationship wasn't perfect or didn't follow through. Oh, this is the perfect person and it doesn't work. And you're like, why isn't this happening? Because they really weren't the perfect person at the perfect time. So know it'll happen. And so maybe a few months later, that perfect person calls you and says, you know what, I've been dating and I just can't get you off my mind and let's go out, and then you end up getting married or whatever. There's a happy ending. So have faith in that and know that if you can let go of the details and the outcome and just know what you desire. For me it was Italy. It had to be first class. It had to be, on the water. It had to be with people I really like. I had certain things, and then the rest I opened up. How it was going to come or when it was going to come, I just left it open. I knew it was going to just fall into place. All right, so when you know that, it will fall into place. And again, don't be attached to the timing or how it comes to you. And you will start to manifest things. Things will show up and you're going to think, oh my gosh, I couldn't have imagined it that way, or I couldn't have imagined that person falling in love with me, or that job showing up that it's just crazy off the charts, amazing. That is being awake. An awakened state is you're so relaxed and at ease with the world. You're experiencing just being here. You don't have all these rules. And you'll experience disappointments and things like that, but they don't rule your happiness. Right? You're going to be okay no matter what. No matter what happens in this lifetime, you're okay. Know that these things are going to transpire. Somebody just told me that I said, what if there was $1 million in a safe and I was going to give you the combination, but I wasn't going to give it to you for a year. Let's just say a year. And you were homeless. You would use that year out in the streets going, this is an adventure. I'm going to write a book. You know, you'd actually be giddy. Because in 1 year, every day you were getting close to that $1 million, you'd actually look at being homeless completely different. You'd think of it as this exciting experience, you know, wow, what's this like? You'd probably write a book or shoot videos for YouTube, right? Because you knew that $1 million was there. Well, the $1 million is there. And I'm not talking about that literally. I mean, whatever it is you desire in your life, it exists. But not if you don't think so, or if you're struggling for it, or you're trying to figure, how do I get it? It doesn't work that way. You know it's there, you're relaxed, you focus on it, you see it, not, you know, I'm going to make it happen, going to make it happen. You just know it's in your reality now. And then you relax and it shows up. That's exactly how it works, and it's going to show up for you. So be cool, man, and just don't let the old ego control you, and work on that awakened state of releasing, letting go, and knowing that you're always going to be led to the best, highest place. And if you're going through some pain and struggle, then there you go. That's your best, highest place. The universe is sending you the lessons of the things you need to work on. And as soon as you get that in check, that person will stop being a problem, that job will stop being a problem, all these things are going to melt away. The financial struggle will stop being a problem, and all of a sudden opportunities will come because you're no longer battling it. You're getting it. You have to make some changes in your thought patterns, in your beliefs, in how you believe the material world will or won't make you happy. When you release it, it will flow to you because there's no blocks or barriers anymore. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.